Tinubu, and Osibanjo shouldn't be in RCCG anymore. Protesters lament. Youths and protesters have taken to social media to call out RCCG after the bloody Lekki massacre in the past few hours. Recall that military operatives shot unarmed protesters to death at Lekki tollgate yesterday. According to close sources, 78 people died due to the shootings. In these angry youths, in these pictures, the green angry youths have tagged the RCCG to disassociate themselves from Tinubu and Osibanjo. Oluremi Tinubu, the wife of Bola Tinubu, and Vice President Osibanjo are pastors in the above-mentioned church. According to the protesters, both Osibanjo and Oluremi Tinubu have done nothing to stop the killings of innocent protesters and therefore aren't qualified to be pastors in church. Some protesters who are members of the church threaten to denounce their membership if the church fails to hear their cry. And obviously on Twitter, that is where everything is going on. And people are saying that she was ordained recently and the vice president is a pastor on RCCG. They both belong to the ruling party headed by Buhari. And that government is responsible for the deaths at tollgate tonight. At this point, I can't help but express my utter disgust for and antipathy towards Yemi Osibanjo. They sold him to us as a pastor. RCCG promoted him as our very own pastor. How the hell does a pastor live and breathe in the camp of this evil and of this level of evil and brazen impunity? That's the thing. It was to get votes. It was all a PR move. It was a marketing move. Of course, with the people always putting these the brands of churches like RCCG, others at a high point and always following them so much for them to get votes. That's what they have to do. And to be honest, it was a smart tactic. But obviously, us voting for this government now, we're reaping it. And it's actually even more shocking how they got to have a second term and they rigged the elections right in front of our eyes. Osibanjo is a pastor in RCCG. Y'all have a murderer as your pastor. RCCG, if Osibanjo does not resign and is still a pastor of the church by Sunday, you and your leaders have failed. And that is the thing. And I think that, at this point, people will start questioning the motives of Pastor ADEBOYE, because at the end of the day, he only started speaking recently, and of course, he had been making meetings to Aso Rock. It's like, why are you going to Aso Rock? To go get permission because you're going to be speaking against the government? It's good that Nigerians are opening their eyes and like, okay, fine, who are really our allies? Who are really preaching to us? Or who are the people who want us to continue in this cycle where we are under their bondage mentally and everything they'll be benefiting from? If Daddy ADEBOYE still refers to Osibanjo as RCCG pastor, then there's a bigger problem. Absolutely. Pastor ADEBOYE definitely looks fishy right now, and he should probably lose all members. Of course, they're the ones who are going to stick with him, but he will most likely lose a lot of members. If you can't even absorb RCCG from what is going on, the church contributed immensely to the emergence of Buhari and Osibanjo in 2015. Exactly. It was a smart move to get in votes, to get people to feel like, oh, he's a pastor, he's on our side, he's an RCCG. And again, of course, a lot of people did think, okay, fine, he's a pastor, we would expect much of him. But of course, that brought in so many votes, and people were like, oh, change. They sold lies to the people. They really did. And the RCCG's involvement in this should be even more. In fact, Pastor ADEBOYE is going under heat on Twitter right now because his actions are being very, very questioned. Mommy G.O. sent in 3 trucks to Alausa this morning. We have 27 packs of bottled water, 100 packs of pure water. What does that do for us? RCCG needs to strip Osibanjo of his pastor title. He's a war criminal. He was never a pastor. It was a tactic to just bring in votes. To just at least, even if the elections were rigged, in the countries where there are people think logically and think for themselves, at least it was a tactic for them to think, okay, fine, this is the man that has been portrayed to us. This is his character. Let's just buy it. RCCG needs to give Osibanjo 2 options. He'll resign now or strip of his pastor title. He's a war criminal, and that is what is trending. Anonymous gave an ultimatum but a threat to RCCG that if they do not strip Osibanjo of his title, then there will be a shutdown of RCCG worldwide. And to be honest, I am here for it. I will stand for it. Of course, everyone has to be a Twitter warrior. As much as you are protesting, if you can't protest, please go on Twitter, retweet everything. Whether you have 2 followers or 0 followers or any, just for the algorithms and for the activity, you have to go and retweet. Be a Twitter warrior. Attack all these people because they don't deserve it. The respect, they don't deserve it because they've literally underestimated the people. It's basically say finish. They've literally seen that we are not able to, they thought that we're not able to stand up against them, and they're like, wow, what went wrong? And of course, what went wrong? Because now we are waking up and we're not going to take any more of their BS. Another person says, what's your no, the person says, if God should judge us by our acts every day, none will be on earth. Temper mercy with judgment. Okay, fine. This person wants to say this kind of comment, and of course there are obviously replies to this and saying that why should we temper with mercy? These people literally connived with the government. The church that's meant to be a neutral body connived with the government and planned for them to enter the government. It was strategic. Knowing how religion is in Nigeria, religion is a big thing. So when we're talking about massive followership, we know what we're saying. The easiest way to get followers like this is to go join a church. Go join a big church, have influence, you will get supporters. This minute. This is what I want. Adeboye must sack them, which is why I'm annoyed that they can't advise him. That's the thing. Everyone has been bought. So at the end of the day, Nigerians only have each other, and that is it. International communities, religious leaders, even the government, they've been gone. We don't have anybody. We have to fight this for ourselves, because at this point, we've gone past the place of let's start to rebuild trust, because Nigeria's existence was literally based on a lack of trust. Nigeria was bought literally for like 80, I don't even know, like almost £1 million. It's not up to, but almost £1 million. Nigeria's existence was bought. So at the end of the day, when we're talking about trust, we don't trust anybody. International communities, the government, we don't trust anybody. We've gone past that place. We can't continue like this. So we only have each other, because at the end of the day, if anybody is offering help, we want the help, but then we'll have to ask for the motive. You can't even ask for the motives. We just need to know, what are your plans? Who's sending you? Who's funding this help? Is there a required payback we have to do? That's it. Because again, some countries might offer help, but the thing is, it's at the expense of our futures, in terms of we're going to be paying royalties or taxes to them forever and forever. And again, on Twitter right now, people are planning to go burn anything affiliated to Tinubu. Obviously, because the toll gates right now are probably in ashes. People are planning to go. Actually, in the night, there were rumors that the front part of the Oriental Hotel building was on fire, and some GTB banks as well were on fire. Well, put what you think about this in the comment section below. I urge everybody to go get a Twitter account or anywhere else social media. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. Go on Twitter and fire all these people. Retweet. It doesn't take anything. Retweet. Go and fire down all these people for the algorithms, for the activity, so the world knows that at least, even if there are 2 million people typing right now on Twitter, people knows that the activity is hot and everywhere is boiling. Put what you think about this in the comment section below. Do not forget to like and subscribe.